Very hearty welcome to all of you. Uh, I would like to introduce Rotarian Umesh Kumar Jalan. He is a Director Foundation and Compliance Rotary Club Pune Riverside, and he is actively associated with the Sanjeevani Riverside. The connect he is the connect person to the Calcutta schools. So his role is very big as far as this concept is concerned. Uh, Kiran is Director District PR and Media, Rotary Club Pune Riverside. So Kiran, a hearty welcome to you. Hearty welcome to hearty welcome to Umeshji. And what to say about Group Captain Ashwini Kumar Bhaku is, I think he is the bridge between the both organizations. So hearty welcome, Ashwini bhai, आपके लिए भी. Thank you. And for Rotary Riverside members, I would like to. Lian is the CEO of Connecting Trust, Connecting NGO. Nidhi is director. So welcome, Lian. Welcome, Nidhi. राकेश भाई इज ही इज द वन. आज मैं इनको 9 बजे कॉल किया. मैंने कहा भाईजान आज मीटिंग है. तो मैंने कहा कि बगैर दूल्हे के बारात नहीं होती है. सो यू आर दैट हम सबको बाराती हैं क्योंकि दिस इज गोइंग टू बी फॉर द ईयर. इनफैक्ट वी आर साइनिंग इन 2021 but it is going to be executed in 21-22 and Rakesh Bhai is going to be the president. So hearty welcome Rakesh Bhai. और राकेश भाई ने आज एक सुनाया कि पूना में भी कोरोना, बॉम्बे में भी कोरोना. सो मैं करूं या क्या राकेश भाई, क्या करूं ना क्या करूं ना. थैंक यू.
सबकी हालत यही है. यहाँ भी कोरोना, वहां भी कोरोना, करें तो करूं ना.
So not taking much time, I think the main agenda of the day is concept sharing of the peer educators program. That is the focus. And once that is done, then I will request all the team members to clear their doubts because we have to be ready. Our next meeting is on coming Saturday or Sunday, I don't know, but date is 18th. 18th. Date is 18th, and that is with the managing committee and teachers and principals of the Mother Teresa Kharadi Nutan Vidyalaya and Nutan Vidyalaya Keshwanagar. So, in fact, this is one kind of preparatory notice for all of us, and that will also be concept sharing meeting. So, not taking much time, I would like to invite. I don't know, Lian and Nidhi, who is going to share the concept of the. Let me, in fact, I would like to invite first Group Captain Ashwini Kumar Bhaku to say a few words. Then I will invite, I think, Lian first, then Nidhi followed. So over to Group Captain Ashwini Kumar Bhaku.
Good morning, everybody. I am, like you said, between Riverside and Rotary and Connecting, because I am a member of both. Connecting also and Rotary. So all I am going to do is interact between both the sides, be a sort of a coordinator for both the sides, so that we take this concept forward. That's all. But the concept today would be shared by either Lian or Nidhi. They will explain everything to this. I discussed with Colonel Mishra in the morning. As far as the MOU is concerned, we will talk about it at a later time directly with Colonel Mishra and with Mr. Ralan, so that that gets sorted out in a different manner. But here we will only talk about the concept today. So over to Lian and Nidhi for the whole part.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Since I overlook all programs, I would like Nidhi to give us an in-depth insight into what PEP is about, and I will chip in wherever I feel the need to.
Thank you, Lian. Good morning, everybody. So PEP, or the Peer Educators Program, is one of the programs that Connecting runs. And this particular program is a year-long initiative in our partner schools. I will share a screen. So if I may please have screen sharing permission.
Yes, yes. Yes, Lian, done. Nidhi, done.
Thank you, sir. Okay. So I just need to clarify before we proceed. Should I talk a little bit about Connecting, Lian?
Yeah, please. It is your session.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Super. So Connecting was established by Mrs. Arnavaz Damania in 2005 in an attempt to address the lack of emotional support and the stigma around feeling distressed, feeling suicidal, or the distress that families face after somebody in their family has died by suicide. So we do have 4 main programs that address this situation. The first one being a distress helpline that is on from 12 to 8 p.m. Throughout the year. There is also a distress email for those who would prefer writing, and there's a walk-in facility as well. The distress helpline and the walk-in facility and the email, it is for anybody who is feeling low, who's feeling distressed or suicidal, and it is based on active listening. So Connecting is run, or Connecting functions with the help of volunteers. So all of the people who do this work are volunteering with Connecting, and the distress helpline is also run by volunteers who are trained in Connecting and the methodology following the principles of Connecting. And we have another program that is called the Suicide Survivor Support Program. This is for those who have attempted suicide and survived, or for the next of kin of somebody who has died by suicide, or for anybody who has witnessed a suicide. So over here, our team of volunteers, they reach out to these people and offer them emotional support. The contacts or the victims, quote unquote, are usually reached out to through hospitals that Connecting has tie-ups with. Then we have the awareness program where Connecting volunteers either go on ground to various organizations. And right now, due to the pandemic, we've been able to have a pan-India reach where we conduct awareness sessions online, north, south, west, and we are hoping through Rotary to be able to reach the east side as well, places like Calcutta. Over here, we do one-touch awareness programs about emotional awareness and self-care. And our second program is on mental health and suicide prevention. 14 years and above is usually the demographic that we look at. We've had the opportunity to have awareness sessions with persons with hearing impairment, persons with physical disabilities, people who are living with HIV. We've also been able to reach the tribal children in places like Jawar. So this has been a really good outreach during the pandemic. In spite of not being able to go on ground, we've been able to reach out a lot of people. And now the Peer Educators Program. This is a year-long program that happens in schools, usually covers around 12 to 14 sessions. Now, the idea behind the peer education program is that children first reach out to their friends when they are in distress. Right? The first person that they talk to are their friends. And many a times, the friend may not be equipped to handle the distress. There might be misinformation. They may not feel safe enough to reach out to an adult if the person is feeling distressed, is self-harming, or is feeling suicidal. So the idea behind peer education is that the adolescents learn first to take care of their own emotional needs, and then being able to support each other. So we're basically trying to create a safety network. And the stakeholders in this program are the adolescents themselves, usually age group 13 and above, the teachers and school representatives, the parents, and connecting. So usually these are the 4 stakeholders that we have. If the schools have mental health professionals like a counselor or anybody else who is working in that particular area, then they are also a part of this program. Now, how we go about it, we usually, during the pandemic, we are currently working with 3 schools. So all 3 schools were online. We were able to have the entire PEP online through online interactive sessions. Over here also, the students are first oriented about the peer educators program. We have an hour and a half long program where the children are enlightened about the concept of peer education and what the peer education program with Connecting is. Then children can volunteer to become peer educators, and they come on board with us. After the orientation and the children who are interested, after they reach out to us, then we have an orientation with the parents, and parent consent is provided once the children decide that they want to volunteer with the PEP. Once that part of the official paperwork is completed, we start our peer education sessions. The first one is usually an opening one, and then we train them on identifying their own emotional needs, handling those emotional needs, handling any distress that they have, and then learning the method of active listening, and then learning principles of non-judgmental, non-advisory, empathy, which are the key principles of connecting. After we've looked at strengthening their own emotional tools, their own way of self-care, then we look at how can they offer this emotional support to their peers. This is done, or this is achieved through practice, through role plays, through case studies, and a lot of interactive activities. So even if it's on ground or be it online, in both formats, the agenda remains the same. Maybe just there's a tweak in the methods and tools that we use. This is the way that the program works. So after this meeting, we would have a meeting with the other stakeholders, maybe with the school and other people who are involved. After which a contract would be signed. Then there is an hour-long session with the students, followed by parents. And the teachers one may not happen immediately. It can happen maybe a month later, depending on the schedule, because looking at the current situation, we do understand that the teachers are under a lot of stress. So, but preferably before we start sessions, we like to have a session with the teachers as well, so that they know what's going on. And they might even be able to tell us if they have observed any distress. So we can then reach out. And then we have 14 PEP sessions, out of which 10 are based on the content, and the remaining 4 are practice intensive, so that the children are able to practice what they have learned. We have like mock sessions, mock calls, a role play, so that they understand and they're able to handle situations in case somebody reaches out to them. And then we have a closing, and Connecting offers a certificate and a PEP toolkit for the students to use and refer to at any other point in their life. We are looking at basically coping mechanism is what we are looking at when we want to do the PEP with the students, and also being able to create this emotional support network for the students. We do have quantitative impact assessment, where we look at numbers mostly, so that we are able to understand what kind of a demographic we're looking at. This year, we are very, very keen on reaching out to need-based schools, which is why we are very grateful for this connection with Rotary Riverside. And because so far we've been working with English medium schools based in the city. We do admit that many of the children from here, they do have access they can have access to better mental health resources, but whereas need-based schools might not even have a counselor. So this is where we want to create this kind of a support system for them. That is more or less about the PEP. This is a bit of a feedback that we've got from the students. I'm going to leave it over there for a moment for you to just go through it. Then we have a bit of feedback from teachers. This was acquired through Google Forms. Now, we do acknowledge the very important role that teachers play. And one of the main reasons why we have teachers orientation. And in this upcoming year, we would like to have an orientation in the beginning and kind of a check-in session in the middle of the year, so that the teachers continue to remain active stakeholders in the peer educators program. This is not with the view of giving the teachers more work to do. It is more with coming from the point of view of so that the teachers know where the students are at mid-year, and also if they have had any observations, if they have any contributions, if they have any opinions that they would like to share, so that we can incorporate it into the next set of PEP sessions. And here is some beautiful feedback from parents. Because of the pandemic, there was a lack of privacy, perhaps. The children were not able to interact with their friends. So there was a feeling of isolation, or they felt that they needed to self-isolate just to be able to preserve their mental peace. They felt that they did not have access to anybody to talk to. They felt they were not understood. So there was a slight observation of aggressive behavior. And as the children and the parents have said, the PEP sessions help them release a bit of that stress that had been building up, and they found that they were able to interact better with their peers or their family members, and also able to understand the situation a little better and make peace with what was happening. These are testimonials from the school. This is from Dastur. Currently, we work with Dastur girls, Dastur boys, and St. Anne's. For the upcoming year of 2021-22, we can take only 8 schools. So we've reached that quota at the moment. If we take into consideration the 3 schools through Rotary. So this is a brief outline about the PEP. I do invite questions and concerns.
Yes.
Maybe if I could come in also over here quickly. I just wanted to mention that for the schools where we cannot offer a year-long intensive program, right? Because not every school has access to something like this. And we also don't have maybe, because it is so intensive, the resources are also limited. So for the schools that are not given that opportunity, we still offer awareness sessions, which are 2-touch awareness sessions, which identify their students identify their own distress. And in the next session, at least learn about the warning signs that they can identify in others and sources of support. So I just wanted to bring that in as well. So, yes.
There is just one last point over here, and this is something that perhaps the esteemed members present over here could consider and spread among other members. We do have, and we could possibly, if you like, invite Rotary members to be volunteers with Connecting. We have a PEP training that is coming up. Our volunteers are within the age group of 20 to 68 at the moment. Active PEP volunteers who take up sessions with adolescents. The only criteria that we have is that you must enjoy and you must be keen on working with adolescents and be willing to incorporate connecting principles into your facilitation and session conduction. So if you do have an interest, if you'd like to volunteer, please do get in touch with either me or Lian, and it is something that we can look at as well. The sessions for the upcoming year, some are on ground, some are online. Some schools have requested online directly. So you also have that facility where you can volunteer with us on the online platform. That's all I have. Thank you.
So forum is open for question answers, clearing the doubts. Kiran?
Yeah, I'm thinking how to frame my question.
Okay.
So thing is that I'm sure you guys have taken into consideration that the children that we are reaching out to versus the kids that you've so far worked with, they're from completely different backgrounds, right? So my concern is that the kind of content that would appeal to that specific audience versus what would appeal in terms of even language, and the examples that we would come in with. I mean, I hope we've kind of identified the differences here. You know, I think the main concern should be that our focus has to be on the real ground issues that these people face. Like, I'll give you an example why I'm stating it is because having worked with schools like even Mother Teresa, girls are very, very shy. And we've done menstrual health campaigns there. Okay, so there's that, again, we have a lot of social stigma versus what you would see in our, the other schools. So I think, I was just trying to understand that how, educating them, working with them on, those real issues that they really face, how we would really work, and identify these factors.
Thank you for that question, ma'am. So only for last year, it was that we were unable to reach out to on-ground need-based schools. Prior to that, we have been associated with communities where the language was Marathi. We may not even have had like PowerPoint, so our facilitators have actually worked with chart paper and pencil and done that kind of work. The material is available in English and Marathi. Our volunteers are trained with regard to every situation that they would be working in. So whether it be awareness programs or the PEP, they are quite in touch with the ground realities.
Okay. Because I know that having, interacted with these children, that they're coming from very, very different backgrounds.
Yes.
And kind of experiences that they have in their homes. So when you're kind of training them up in this particular thing, they're not only obviously looking at their own age group, they're looking at even in their homes,
Yes.
beyond their homes and their social circle beyond the school environment.
Yes.
So CSK identifying and supporting them in that. Another, I think, concern that I had was parents, because parents play a huge role, in encouraging the children. Unfortunately, in this particular domain, I'm sure even, Colonel Mishra will agree, is that these parents are not very involved in the children's education. Getting them on board is, I think, a bigger challenge than even speaking to the children themselves. The children are more receptive, and they are like sponges. They're like just loving to, just there to absorb everything that you have to say to them. But the bigger challenge, I feel, is the parents. How do we work on that? Because I feel they need to be pulled in. They need to be, brought to the front. And because what happens is, children can identify and they can understand, but how do they kind of try and make a change in their own environments is something also that, since you're there, you can kind of support, is what my thought was. So what do you—
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Last month, we conducted an online awareness session for the similar demographic as what we are looking at schools like Mother Teresa and the other two that were mentioned. I actually did conduct an online awareness session for parents of similar children in another location, a little away from Pune. And that was like a direct topic of mental health and suicide prevention. So they were a bit, the first 15 minutes were spent in realizing that this is a heavy topic and also acknowledging that their children are going through distress. And it was conducted in colloquial Marathi. So we didn't even use like these big terminologies. And it was very surprising that the parents had made observations. They just felt ill-equipped. So, some did not know what to say, what to do. These were new things that have come up, because these are parents who are struggling to make ends meet, perhaps, and on top of that, like it's hard enough to put food on the table and to deal with the 2, 4, 6 children in the house if they're living in joint families as well. Let alone find time to even for themselves sit in peace and think about what they're trying to do. And then now we introduce this where your child has mental health issues. Not only do you have to provide them food, clothing, shelter, but you also have to take care of their mental
health, right?
We did acknowledge this for them, and we do also acknowledge that this does not happen immediately. So we usually have like a first orientation, then with the parents we would have a second meeting middle of the year, and then a third meeting before we close, so that that contact is kept. And also I will be very honest in saying that we do not come, even in these schools, what we are working with in the city, the parents are not that forthcoming. They would like to leave the things on the school, and we've given you the children, we've given you the money, please take care of our children. And so even like working with them also has been this, where we're trying to rope them in and trying to help them understand that your home environment does play a very big role in the development of your child. So we don't have this expectation that within the first year this shift will be seen. It may take a couple of years for the parents to understand what's happening and to equip themselves with these skills. So yeah, we are very, very mindful of what's happening.
Well, you're right. I mean, I have a 12-year-old, and I think I'm one of the more active mothers, who's like, I was just in fact thinking about it. I'm like, I'm probably the most active mother that the children in her class have ever seen, because parents normally, you have the bus, you put them on the bus, everything is set, their life is set, the involvement. So this is where the concern is, because the children can work on themselves, right? But the kind of support and understanding they would get if, the parents are far more involved is something which I feel is a challenge, I guess, in any strata. Parents just in general have too much happening in their world, to really focus. I'm sure my daughter would crib about me also at some point. But yeah, so I was just little concerned in terms of the fact that it's a very different audience, and they're not very forthcoming. So I guess like you have this, when you're creating mentors, that one-on-one sessions are something I think would support them a lot more. In groups, they probably just listen in and, kind of absorb it. But I think more one-on-one sessions with them to really have impact is, I think, going to be essential.
Yeah, so I'd like to comment over here. One is, I think Nidhi's being actually very modest because she has worked with extreme need-based areas where she mentioned children in tribal areas. So the response you get from children in tribal areas is a very different experience compared to even children from resource poor communities in urban areas. So having dealt with that, I think, where there's very little response, there's a lot of gender-based violence, there's a lot of addiction going on. So we have had sessions with children from such areas, specifically for our awareness program this year as a response to the pandemic. So that has been something that we have experienced, and what we have found as helpful is to have that one point of contact with the school that is also there to kind of check in with the students. And two is in regards to the parents. Yes, that is a struggle that we have faced, I think, all round. But to also kind of keep you aware that Nidhi has done sessions with parents in community-based areas as well. So we have been having sessions with that, and it is a struggle and it is an effort that we will have to make. I guess it's a ground reality that we will face. and we will be making our efforts to address. And just to also come in terms of the one-on-one session versus group sessions. So I think Nidhi mentioned this earlier, where the first person a student shares anything with is usually their friends. So the idea is that peer education sort of creates that safe space amongst your friends to be able to respond to your friend if they come to you in distress. So that is kind of the thought process behind it. And we also target adolescents from that age group because suicide is the primary cause of death from ages 15 to 39. So we want to reach students before they kind of get to that age group.
Now, I've also seen that the relationship, especially, I mean, maybe I've just kind of noticed it a lot more, but the relationship between the teachers and the students is far stronger, and they have a very good hold on the child's development. Like they know, the child, they know exactly what he's capable of thinking or capable of doing. So definitely focus on the teachers also is important, because you're in an environment where the parents unfortunately are not very forthcoming in being part of all of this, which is where with the peers, I think, yeah, teachers would end up being your main focus.
Just having that
Also
trusted adult in the school is really
Yeah.
important.
Very
Yeah.
important. True.
And also to acknowledge that the parents might not be equipped to handle that. The teachers are slightly more equipped because this has been an area of their study and is their life's work.
It's their life's work. True. That was really nice. I'm looking forward to this, and you can definitely sign me up. I mean, unfortunately, I don't speak Marathi, so I can't be a support in that. But this is something I would definitely love to volunteer for.
We have English-based schools as well, so like.
Happy to volunteer.
Good, good, good. Umesh ji, unmute yourself, please.
Yes. Good morning to Nidhi and Lian.
Good morning, sir.
See, one thing we are talking about that English and Marathi. So do we have something for Hindi comfortable people also?
Yes.
So we have the ready material, etc., and the ready, say, educators who can create the awareness program in Hindi.
Yes.
It can be done.
Okay. And this year, looking at which area? Hindi is for which area?
Hindi, which area means? Say,
why you
I have got connection with one Kolkata school, which is having about having 4 sections, and that has got girls section, boys section, and then primary and secondary, all that, and having a student strength of about 3,000 altogether.
And sir, do you speak Bengali?
Yeah, I know Bengali. I speak Bengali, but not very well. But I understand.
I'm going to show off a little. Sir, আমি বাংলা বলতে পারছি। যে কিছু awareness program আছে আমি করতে পারবে, কোনো অসুবিধা নয়।
আচ্ছা।
So Hindi and Bengali we'll be able to do.
নিধি উমেশ
কিন্তু ওখানে বাঙালি বাঙালি ওখানে লাগবে না।
ভালো, we have Hindi, so it's good.
So the students are mostly from the Hindi medium, and they are from UP, Bihar, and
so it's along that side of okay.
And it's having the English medium and Hindi medium both.
Super.
Okay, second thing I wanted to understand that as per our past experience, if we say whatever you have told, we can divide it into 2 parts. One is that creating the awareness, and second is actually handling of the say people who are not emotionally doing well. So the second part is having more personal and closer interaction with the people who are not doing emotionally well in their life. And the first part is to create the general awareness to the all the people in general, to say draw their attention to that this is also a factor which is generally overlooked upon. Okay, and this is helpful for all age group. So this awareness program, how much, and that has got naturally to be first say created by the initiating group for which you are working for some time, and you are more proficient in maybe creating that awareness. So what infrastructure we have got to create that awareness program, and how big is the size of the say audience which we can handle, and from there, while creating this awareness program only, we would be say identifying the educators, peer educators. So what would be what is our experience, that how many educators we will be say identifying from a group of 30 audience or 50 audience, and what class of audience that should be, with the say idea in the mind that we have we achieve our objective of say identifying the volunteers.
Do you want to take a moment to process that, Lian, or I'll start with the awareness part and then you can take up PEP?
However you want to go about it.
Okay, so I will address the first part of your structure, where we would do 2 awareness programs. Each awareness program is 1.5 hour long, and usually half an hour more, where we have the discussions. Each session, we can handle only 50 students at a time because it is so intensely interactive. The sessions will be in Hindi. The first session will be on emotional awareness and self-care. The second session will be on mental health and suicide prevention, where the students would then learn what are the causes of emotional distress, what are the warning signs, what are the protective factors, and how do you intervene, okay, at that age group. After that, then we can look at maybe a small training on active listening, wherein because a full year's program for a an audience who have never had this may be a little intense, and it would be good, as you mentioned, it would be good to have an infrastructure where we first initiate this kind of concept. We tell them and we make them aware that this is a very important integral part of their well-being. And then in the following year, we can look at having a full-fledged PEP session in certain schools. For PEP and for these awareness sessions, it is always only 14 years and above that we look at, because this is the age where they understand, they are beginning to learn self-concept, they're beginning to identify with things. And it's a very volatile stage. I would use the word volatile over here because there are so many influencing factors. So just to reiterate what I've said, an awareness session on a self, an awareness session on mental health, and then a small active listening training module. We can have the module based on the response from the students.
So when we are talking about say 2-3 schools and reaching out to the children and identifying the peer educators, say the school which I am talking about itself has got about 100 teachers, 120 teachers. So how do we begin with? Do we make a combined session of the students and the teachers, or we? So we start with say teachers only, and then train them to roll out the awareness program to their students, and that is how we reach out to all students. And then for one-to-one say handling of the cases which they may not be proficient in handling, that comes to us. Do we structure like this or something different? How it will go about? I want to have little bit visibility about this.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead, Lian.
So when it comes to the awareness program, so I think you've identified two things. One is we reach out to the teachers. Two is we reach out to the students. In both scenarios, it is conducting the sessions. Why? Because to have that training on how to respond to distress um, may not be there in the teachers as yet. Our trainings take at least 2 months of a training, and then on top of that, you have practicing for another month. So it's a 3-month experience that we have. So when you want to look at logistics, how it would roll out would be is that, let's say there are 100 teachers. We would ideally look at 2 awareness sessions with the teachers. One is the teachers have a lot of distress themselves. They have overwork schedules. They are not appreciated. So we first kind of explore their distress in one session. And in the second session, we look at how they can identify the signs in their students. If a student comes up and, a very active student, let's say, for instance, has suddenly stopped responding and it's been over 2 weeks, to realize that your student may not overtly give you signs. What are the signs that you can spot? For 100 teachers, that would be approximately 4 sessions, because even with teachers, we like to keep it down to 50 per session so that it is interactive, so that the messaging doesn't get lost. When there are 100 teachers, they may not even have the same schedules. So with the teachers, it would be 4 sessions, 50 teachers each, and 2 different topics. Similarly, with the students, we would look at maybe doing it division wise, uh, 8th grade onward or even 7th grade onward at the max. Nidhi said that they may not have that awareness as of yet. So um, we would look at having those awareness sessions with students division wise as per their language preference. And it would be again 2 sessions on identifying their own distress and how, with students it's a little different, but how they can intervene. So with the students, we usually say you listen to your friend and then you refer your friend to a trusted adult, or you refer them to helplines or that sort of thing. So 2 sessions with the teachers, 2 sessions with the students, and 50 people attending each session. That's how we would look at it.
So if the school has around, say, we are touching upon only, say, the student class of grade of 8th and above. If the school has got, say, altogether about 800 to 1000 girls and boys, so that means we have to conduct uh, 20 sessions of 20 sessions for them, 20 into 2 sessions for them individually in the group. Is it that way?
Depends. So you're saying that there are around 1,000 from 8th to 10th. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would look at around 20 sessions. At the max, we can ask the school. I would first suggest we ask the school on how many students are in one division, because that is how schools usually like to go about it. They like to do it sort of division wise. So I would also try to make it work for the school and first understand how many students they have per division and see if we can accommodate per division online Zoom sessions as per their time and their convenience.
Okay, so this 50
We
may go up
offer
to
them
80
as,
also.
yeah.
This 50 may go up to 80 also.
We it
If the two, say we are taking
so
one
we try.
grade, one section, or 2 sections combined. So it may go depending on 30 to 40 students per class. We can handle, say, 2 sections which aggregating to 60 to 80 students.
So, sir, because connecting volunteers would do the sessions and they're equipped to do it multiple times, we could even do 2 sessions per day with 2 different sections. We would not encourage combining 2 classes and making it 80. because even those 30 to 40 students should have a chance to speak. You did mention, and even Kiran ma'am mentioned, that little one-on-one, that little bit of personal experience that they should get. 30, 40 is a number that we can handle.
Okay.
And
And,
connecting volunteers are willing
we-
to do those many sessions. Like
right
we
we
have
have-
right now for identifying the PEP, how many sessions we can ideally plan for, say in a week or a month? Can we have some idea about, because say we are coming to a number whereby we need to cover the say 1,000 audience group, maybe about 40 sessions. So how many sessions we can hold say per week or month, like how many we can plan for?
I think there may have been a slight, just a clarification, Rakesh ji, Colonel Mishra, if I'm correct, the PEP is going to be looked at the 3 schools in Pune, and the
Yes.
Kolkata-based schools are the ones where we would like to do the awareness sessions at,
Yes, you are right.
so that they have also, yeah.
See,
So
we
with the
are looking
Kolkata-based schools, we would,
for Calcutta, we are looking for
Sorry.
just awareness, 100 teachers and 1,000 students. And for intensive program, we are looking for 3 schools, especially Mother Teresa, Karadi, and Keshunagar.
Jalan sir, we could look at PEP in the upcoming, like the next academic year, once we understand the needs of the students who we will do the awareness sessions with. Then we can create something for them.
yeah. So for Kolkata, the aim is first awareness, and then to see their needs further, and then see the next year as to what they could sort of, to understand their specific needs as well.
So we can start with a preliminary session for Calcutta
Yes.
also. Yeah.
Yes.
We can
We can at least tell them what is our purpose, what is our objective, and who are the target group. And secondly, my suggestion is that if we can engage parents somewhere in a combined session.
We
Sir, what
can
do you mean by
offer
combined
awareness.
session?
for Calcutta, what I think then what we can begin with is to target the teachers only, which itself is a good number of 100, and we can handle them well. And maybe that in turn, they pass on the concept of being emotional well-being to their children in turn. With that objective, we can take up the only teacher slot.
So it's a little different, to be honest, when it comes to the students, because our awareness sessions are not, we're not specifically saying it's very interactive. And to have that training to do that, those teachers would either have to be volunteers at Connecting to be able to pass it on. Yes, Ashwani sir.
So that's what we are
if I
say.
may,
I am also
if I
proposing the
may
same.
If I may interject here, actually, Nidhi and Lian are being very defensive truly to a certain extent. See, the emotional wellness part or the distress part that we do, none of our volunteers we allow to interact with any audience without a very, very intensive training. We would not, we would not ask the teachers to interact with anybody until and unless they are trained by Connecting. And that training can take as much as 2 to 3 months of it as part of the training program that we have. So that is why they are hesitating to say that the teachers should, take the program to the students. The person who should interact with the student should only be Connecting trained people. And if yes, over the next year, let us say, I'm leaving aside the 3 schools in Pune. I'm only now talking about the school in Calcutta. Let us say over this 1 year, we do the initial sessions for the teachers there, orientation sessions. Subsequently, we train the teacher. We train a lot of people, let us say 10, 5, 10, whatever number we can get. We train them under Connecting for this entire program. Only then Connecting is comfortable in taking them forward. One more thing here I want to say is, they mentioned it in passing. We will not take any volunteer from the students till the time we have parental consent. This is a program which is on mental health, and at times it can be very highly emotional. So therefore, we would only take students after even identifying, or let us say 30 students have identified. But we would then have sessions with parents, explaining to them what is going to happen, explaining to them what is going to be the impact, only take their written consent, and only then induct those students into the program. It's a mental health issue. We want to be stepping very, very carefully into any of these things. If I may say so, I don't have the figures here. Lian and Nidhi would correct me. I remember the programs that we were, trainings that we were conducting earlier. When we have 25 to 30 volunteers for whom we conduct helpline training or such trainings, at the end of a 6-week training, the actual number of people who actually get onto the helpline is 25 to 30%. Not
Very
more
little.
than 25 to 30% out of the 30 people that we go with. That's how intense the emotional part is. Many people break down during the training. They sidestep, they leave the training, they can't handle even the training portion. It's very intense. So when Nidhi and Lian say we will do the awareness program for the teachers, we will train them, but we would not like them to interact with the students. That's what they are implying. It's a very intense mental training program.
Thank
I think,
you.
I think,
If you would like to say anything.
Simply
yeah.
Thank you,
say,
Ashwini ji, for the clarification. I got it. So initially, when we are talking about, say, 100 teachers and all that, it's only identify for the purpose of creating awareness and identifying the volunteers out of them. Maybe only we out of the 100 teachers, maybe only 5 or 10 would be coming forward for volunteering to take the intensive training in the field, evoke their interest. So then we have got only those 5 or 10 as a volunteer only. So I was talking about identifying volunteer itself. We have to go through the process of awareness and get the volunteers.
yeah, I would say the objective of these awareness sessions with teachers is solely one, to identify their own distress. And because they themselves are under a lot of pressure, they don't have enough time. So identify their distress, and then just sensitize them on how they can identify this in their students and refer them to connecting. Because they themselves are not equipped to, may not be equipped to handle something like self-harm or suicide. So when you do see those signs in your students, how can you kind of refer them to connecting or to a counselor that way? So that would be the objective of the teacher sessions. And with the student sessions, it is, if you see your friend in this state, again, how do you identify, how do you listen to them, and then how do you refer them to a counselor or to connect?
We would request awareness
Because there is,
sessions with the teachers and awareness sessions with the students, with both,
Oscar, come here.
in the upcoming year.
Oscar.
yeah.
One more thing I wanted to add here, the most difficult part of this training is being non-judgmental, all accepting, and the most difficult part is being advisory or non-advisory. Most of us are advisory in nature. We tend to give advice at the drop of a hat. Really speaking, this program is so intense because we train people to be non-advisory. I am a psychotherapist myself, and I have come across a number of doctors, psychologists, psychotherapists. Everybody is in the field of providing advice. And here we are totally non-advisory. And then people ask the question, if you're non-advisory, then why the hell should we come on to a telephone call? If you're not going to give me advice, then why should I talk to you? Oh, there is a system which we have evolved, in which we don't give advice, but we make sure that you come up with your own answers, how to live your own life. We will not tell you what to do. We will not give you step-by-step instructions, do this, do this, do this, and therefore your life is going to be wonderful. We don't do that. And that's the most difficult part to train. And especially people who are 25 and above. People who have a little bit of experience behind them, very difficult to train. Very, very difficult to train. If somebody says, I am a psychotherapist, I am a counselor, and we want to train him on this, oh, it becomes very, very difficult to train because they already have a mindset of being advisory. So this is a very difficult. That's why when we take teachers or volunteers, this is what we really look at. Whether the person is trainable to be a listener, to be non-advisory, and to be non-judgmental. We don't judge people. We accept them the way they are. We don't really judge people. So it's a little difficult training. Our mentors and trainers do a wonderful job over a 6-week, 8-week period of it. But that is where the whole thing comes.
Thank you very much. I think long discussion has been on the awareness. Let's focus on the intensive program, for which we are here. And there are 2-3 more members who may like to put their own doubts in. So I would like to invite Sanjay Merchant. Over to Sanjay ji.
Yeah, Colonel sir. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Yeah, actually, I have heard Ashwini ji's, 2 lectures which he had put, and what he says makes a lot of sense always, and it is and what y'all are doing, Lian and Nidhi, I agree to that. And our schools also, you'll have to work a little more harder because Nutan Vidyalite, like Kiran said, they are not at all open. It will be a tough task, just to get them to come on the table, forget everything else, So that is all which is there, Colonel Sahab. I don't think anything else is there. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Sanjay
and
bhai. Yeah. Lian, you want to say something? Go ahead,
I
please.
just wanted to add to something that Mr. Sajay Merchant and Kiran ma'am have both mentioned is, it has to be customized to that school's needs. So what we do before every session is we kind of try to have that conversation with, the person who has been dealing with the students to understand what are the issues they've been going through. What is it that is currently going on within their specific age group. So we do have that conversation before and we customize our sessions to suit their needs.
Yeah,
So
that
each
would
session,
be
even though,
very good. Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely right.
That's
So
great.
even for example, if we are covering something like, let's say, at some point we are covering something like self-harm, which is very common in adolescents at that age, the way we approach it will be very different for sort of each school. So even the role plays we have will be customized to their issues. So yeah.
Yeah, that
Thank you,
should be
Lian.
good.
Thank you.
Like for
Thank you.
instance, I think yeah.
Murthy,
And just like one more thing is, I'm so sorry. I
yeah,
just
please
wanted to
go ahead.
become one example where, Dastur came to us saying that, our students at approximately this month go through this anxiety around exams in October. So we devised an entire module around that to kind of suit their needs specifically in that month. And they also came to us saying that, we have seen a rampant increase in self-harm amongst our students in specifically this division. So we specifically addressed those issues that the school was also facing.
Thank you, Lian. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite Murtaza Cherawala. So, Murtaza, you missed the initial presentation. I feel I would have loved if you have seen that. Anyway, I will share the recording for understanding that. So, if you have some doubts and questions, please go ahead.
Nothing yet. I'm still trying to absorb everything. It's a completely new topic for me, and apart from my profession, I have not done such projects. So there's nothing much I can value add as of now, or raise any question. But if there's something, I'll speak up.
That's great.
Thank you.
Rakesh bhai, you would like to add something?
No, it's fine. See, I have already raised my concern that we should have a joint session along with the parents, which will be more relevant. At least we can understand both the psychology of the children as well as parents. That will help us in creating, and plus the mentors. If we can create mentors out of teachers themselves, that is what the objective is. Then that will be very good for us. And if we have specific training sessions for them, that will help a lot, because then we can cover a lot of people in one go.
So just for clarity, when you say joint session, with whom?
Parents as well as children.
Sir, in our experience, it becomes a very volatile environment. Sir.
No, it may be volatile environment. See, the thing is that if then we'll have to handle according to the means what we expect, that this is what is going to happen. So the topics that we are going to discuss will be based on to understand the psychology of the children as well as psychology of the parent, and not to create a conflictive environment. That will help.
Hey,
That is
Rakeshji, it will have to be separate. Ashwini ji had spoken about this, in his lectures, which he gave 2 of them.
Separate is there. Separate is needed. I'm not saying that we should not go separately. Going separately as well as a session together, that will help. First, let us go separately, understand their psychology, then go in a together manner, so that we can come to a conclusion that whether our understanding is correct or not. This is what I feel. You are more experienced in this field, so you know much better. But this is what I feel. Rest I leave it with.
I think one minute, Umesh bhai, 1 minute. I think what Rakesh bhai is trying to make the point, it's not he's not focusing on counseling. He's talking about the preliminaries when the parents and students are parents and their wards are together. So there is comfort zone for the parent and the ward also. Once both understand what is going to happen in future, that makes the difference. So this session can be organized just for 60 minutes at initial stage. If I'm not talking about what intricacies, I'm not talking about the emotional wellness. I'm talking about the just share the overview. So just share the concept what we are going to do. So there is comfort zone between the teachers, between the parents, and between the students, and I feel that can be done. That can.
Yeah, may I say something?
Yeah, please.
See, we are mixing up the two things. I believe that creating the awareness and handling the people who are not emotionally doing well. So let us, I think that let us focus on.
Sir, could you please unmute?
Hello. Sorry. Say we are mixing up the two things. I believe that creating the awareness is one part and handling the people who are not doing emotionally well is the second part. While the second part is one-to-one and having more interaction with the affected person only, the creating the awareness is in general is meaningful for all of us. Even say when I first had the lesson, the session of Ashwini ji, before that I had hardly thought of the emotional well-being of myself and others before that. So the emotional, we have to create the awareness and draw the attention in general of the people who are overlooking the emotional well-being part itself, and that should be the objective rather than handling the people who are not doing emotionally well. And those people who are not doing emotionally well will come automatically out of this creating awareness, and then we have to think of that how to address them.
Umesh bhai, in fact, if I am right, what Rakesh bhai is suggesting and what has come up, it's a 3-tier system. First is sharing the overview and concept so that parents come to know what is going to happen to their child. See, it's a small talk, 60 minutes, maybe of 150 students and 50 parents. So maybe for 100. The first time. Second is awareness. What Lian, Nidhi, and Ashwini has said. That is for 90 minutes, followed by 30 minutes, question answer, and that is focused for that particular group, 50 students and students only, nobody else. 50 teachers, only teachers, nobody else. So that is the second. And third is identifying the stress and handling and stream out. Am I right, Lian? Am I right? Which is that is the objective of the objective of the intensive program. So if we go just 3-tier system, that makes a lot of difference, particularly to these 3 schools. We are not talking about in general. We are no one to interfere in your system. When the question came from Kiran and Sanjay Bhai, and we know our schools well, so we can have this, and I think it will be really good, and it will be very meaningful. It will be very fruitful. This is one thing. Second part, what Umeshji has, see, deliberately I have invited Umeshji because Umeshji has very, very good contact to that particular school, and we have experienced it. So we can go for awareness program for the teachers, 2 sessions. As Lian has already said, one is for their own stress, and second session for them just identifying the students. And then third is they can volunteer and they can be trained by connecting. Then connecting can connect to them that at later stage. But it for another year, it will remain only for making awareness for the 2 sessions for teachers. And once those teachers are able to identify some students who are under stress, so maybe 50, 30, 40. So for them, it can be another session. So that depends, that we can take later on. So that is that we can focus that Calcutta school for making awareness, these 3 schools for intensive program, and objective of today's session was to make everybody aware, understand it thoroughly, and if you have any doubt in your mind, so clear those doubts. And I hope the doubts have been already cleared by now. I mean, next session, next step is, there is in between, there is, signing up the MOU, memo of understanding. So we will not be discussing here. We will be discussing between Nidhi, Lian, Ashwini ji, and Rakesh ji. We all 4 will have a session, and we have already I have already discussed with Ashwini ji a long session on this. So I don't want to. Time is not permitting us to discuss here. So we will finalize as far as memo of understanding is concerned for this, for both, for awareness as far as this intensive program. That is the second part. Third part is how to take it further, because what we will be doing in 21, 22. We are not going to do it in 20. In fact, we are going to do it in 21 when school opens. So for that particular period, we need to connect the schools, all the 3 schools. When I'm talking about 3 schools, 3 schools which we have finalized for intensive program. That is the Mother Teresa, Kharadi, and Keshav Nagar. And we can, in fact, I would like to invite Nidhi, Lian, and Ashwini ji. And not now, you can think of and you can share on group to whom to invite. For me, every school has one coordinator, every school has one principal, every school has certain teachers. They are very good in they are the in charges. In fact, they are in charges, like and when we are talking about the 8 to 12, perhaps one thing we are missing, we will not be able to handle to 10th and 12th, because they will be having the exam stress since very beginning. So it's let it be any year. we will be just going for them for the awareness program, just leaving the awareness program. And to make it more fruitful, what we can do, what comes to my mind, we can have a joint session with parents and students, and then separate session for the students of 10th and 12th, and that's all. And if they require help of the connecting trust, then they can be taken separately, individually, by this group, by this team. Uh, we are focusing on 9th and 11th. We are going to focus on 9th and 11th. Only 9th and 11th, if we are able to do that. So I believe each school is having minimum 45 students in one class. We are not aware about how many sections. So to get all these inputs and to get share the concept with the team of that particular school, as I said, it may be 3, it may be 4, it may be 5, and you are the best judge. We are not going to intervene as far as your core competence is concerned. You are going to tell these you want, and we will invite. Okay, we will not be saying yes or no. Is I was telling, because your experience in this field is much better, much useful. So we want that it should be done by today's, by, if it is done by maybe today, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Monday evening. If Monday evening I could get the to whom you are targeting, that they should be in next meeting, and they are not the students, they are the managing committee members who are going to make decisions, who are decision makers, are to whom you are going to use as a counselor, as a volunteer, or whatsoever is there. So we have 3 schools. If you are deciding 5, so 5 into 3, 15, plus whosoever is today. We are going to meet on 18th, same time, for 90 minutes, not 60 minutes. It will be 90 minutes. This meeting will be for 90 minutes. Okay. Why I'm talking about 90 minutes? Because they may be having a lot of questions. And I am going to see, I will be requesting Bhakuji to drop a message, which I am going to share with this, recording. I have already a group. I have already a group of the, these things. So I may not be sharing the. It may not be advisable to share the recording, but it would be nice that if you prepare a text which is worth understanding them, why we are inviting, what we want to do, why their role is very important, what we are going to take in a year, how it's going to help the health management, how it's going to help the students, and all that. So if I get that concept note by evening of the Monday, Tuesday, I'm going to post them on that group, and then maybe by Wednesday we will be creating Zoom invite link, and 18th we will be meeting, and we will be meeting with a purpose. We will be meeting with the aim that they understand the way we have understood, and they go fully charged, they go fully understanding the concept, and take it forward in their schools. That's all from my side. Your comment, please.
I will share the concept note, Colonel Mitra, no problem. I will give you that write-up, not on YouTube.
Sir, if I may just clarify one thing.
Yeah.
The sequence of the orientation that happens with parents, students, and the together session that we were talking about.
Yeah.
It will just be the other way around. First, the students will be having their session, then the parents will have their session. And those students who would like to volunteer, those students and their parents, we can have one joint session.
Nidhi,
So that is how you can have your.
Yeah, Nidhi, I fully appreciate your point of view, but in given situation, it is not a student, it is the parent who matters, because they are the one who, if they understands, then students will go far with them. And if we invite
Yes,
only,
sir. We would like to have a parent session with the
but
parents first.
we can have the parent session first. Maybe if we are targeting, if we are targeting
We usually
50,
look at 7th or 8th standard students.
I think you are talking about adolescence. You are talking about the teenage. Teenage start from 13 and ends at 19. So you are targeting 8 to 12, and if we miss 9 and the 10th and 12th, then it is only 8, 9, and 11. And mostly we have the schools only 10th standard. We don't have the school. We have school. We have the schools, few schools up to 12th standard, no doubt about it. But mostly we have schools up to 10th standard. So what we can do, we can go for 8 and 9, 8 and 9. Living 10th. I'm talking about the intensive program. For
Yes.
awareness, yes, of course, we can go for 10th also. Modi ji go for schools, that exam charcha. So he has his own way to stress out. We will have our own way to stress out the children of the 10th standard. Taking the awareness program the way we have already shared. So we can focus, I think, 8 and 9. We can leave the 7th. That would be, and if we focus on 8 and 9, we will have good number, and we can have one school at one time. It cannot be a joint session. It can be one school, or if required, one
Yes, it
school.
will be one school only.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It can be one school, 2 sessions. It can be school, if they have 45, 3 sessions, then it can be 3,
Yes.
three. So see, as far as slot is concerned, as far as facilitation is concerned, it's not a problem. As far as Rotary Club Pune Riverside is concerned, we will be there. We will be doing everything, and need not to worry. And yeah, we can share all these things. But what discussions we have had today, I will strongly recommend that based on your concept sharing, what concept you have shared, connect peer educators program. That's plus what we have discussed today. How we will be going 3-tier system. So that will make a lot of difference to understand in totality. To the management, we make to understand the management first. If management is ready and they are able to understand, I think it will be top down approach. And in top down approach, it's very easy. It's a it will be faster, and it will be easier, and it will be workable. It's my say.
Ask a question.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can I just understand what's the flow for the presentation on the 18th?
Pardon?
I just wanted to understand the 18th, on the 18th
Agenda for the 18th.
agenda and the flow and how we're going to go about
Yeah. It's totally, see, today we have been on the same wavelength as far as the peer educators program. The same thing we are going to have with the management on 18th. Same thing, but it will be have part 1, which she has Nidhi has shared as a concept sharing initially, and second is what is the roadmap, what we are going to do in a complete year, and particularly focusing for part A, awareness for the 10th standard who are going to face the examination in 2020 in 21. One session for parents, one session for students. Then if required, they can connect as part B, as far as part B is concerned. Part B, we are going for intensive, intensive program. So intensive program, 3-tier system again. First we are taking the parents, then we are taking the students separately for the awareness. Then we are going for detail, their counseling, whatsoever the system had been shared. That I think that we have to make them fully, Kiran, we have to make them fully understand. The management must. Yeah.
First, I need to understand exactly
Yeah,
what we're
yeah,
doing, because
yeah.
we need to have, and share this. Obviously, we have to share the
Yes.
schedule with
Yes.
schools,
Yeah. Yes.
and right people on board. So that's why I was
Correct.
asking to get an idea if, if Nidhi or Lian can just give us a flow
Yeah.
of how we're to pursue, the 18th.
Yeah.
So that we are all on board and we understand what to expect when. And we
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
communicate this with the schools
I
as well.
think
Yeah,
I
it
think what
has
we
to.
can also
Yeah.
do is maybe share our PPT for the partner schools that we
Hmm.
have in mind, and we can share it with you and see how you feel. But ideally, what would happen would be just a small. It'll start with just a small introduction about, you know, the kind of work we do. Then it would get specifically into why we look at adolescents. Then it would look at what is the kind of support we provide to adolescents. And then, as Colonel Mishra said, to kind of spell it out and say what would the way forward be. So in June, we would look at this. In July, we would look at, so that's how we would, kind of um, maybe to also simply spell out that, we start with our orientations in June,
Mhm.
which goes from students, parents, and teachers, and then we look into the intensive programs sort of July onward. So to sort of discuss the concept and then kind of specify the way forward um, as to what it would mean for them as being partner schools.
So we
Yeah.
don't have children, right? We don't have children attending the 18th. It's
No,
all
not at all. Not at all.
Management. So we've had this last year as well, where, with our partner schools, just to kind of specifically mention, what is the structure of the peer educators program. So kind of bringing the management on board, and then kind of the orientations and all will for students, parents, and teachers would be maybe June onward, once the schools are sort of open and functioning.
See, that I have little different, Lian, what are you talking about? See, it's okay as far as your concept sharing and clearing doubt. Later on, we are looking forward for the strategy, action plan, roadmap, timeline. Broadly. I'm not talking about month-wise. If we are giving this much dose, they may be scared. They are going to take out. My
We
schedule.
won't
We are
we
not.
won't make it overwhelming. Yes.
No,
Yes.
not overwhelming. We are not going to tell at initial stage that we are going to encroach in their itinerary. We are not going to tell. We are going to tell. We are looking forward this 12 sessions or 15. You talk about for 12 sessions. So it will be the what is first is the concept. They understand the concept. Then what is strategy? What is action plan? What is roadmap? What is timeline, and what we are finally going to achieve. That's all, without any other thing. Once we are able to make this on 18 and they are able to understand, I'm very sure they will be very happy, they will be very glad, and they will be very amenable to all these things. Once they understand, they are the person to take it forward. We have to motivate them, we have to inspire them, we have to make them understand they have the responsibility to make their school a better place for the students. So that we are looking forward, and for that we have already created a group. In fact, I request all the participants who are today. I have not added Umesh ji, I have not added Murtaja, so I will add them also. So see, whatsoever you want to say, please feel free, give your advice, give your comment, give your, if anything comes in your mind, so that helps to build up our strategy, build up our action plan, build up our roadmap and all that. So this brainstorming session has been over today. If something is left, that can be said on the group. Today is Saturday is already on, then Sunday is there. By Monday, end of the date of the Monday, everything should come from all members. And then, Ashwini ji is there, Nidhi is there, and, Lian, we all are there. So as far as this concept sharing, all these things, PPT and all that, we are not coming into picture. Sure, you just prepare, share on the group. And if members want to add something, suggest something that we, and that should be ready by Wednesday. Okay, so Wednesday, if that is ready, we say okay, right? In between, I will get the write-up from Ashwani ji, and I will share, with the, schools and all that, and I will create Zoom invite link and go ahead. That's all for today. I think that's much which we expected. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Rakesh bhai, final closing.
Yes, sir.
Final closing भाई, दूल्हे के बिना तो बारात
Hello.
नहीं होती ना.
I just have one question. If
Yeah,
I
yeah.
may be allowed to get in touch with Umesh, sir, regarding the awareness, I will get in touch with him separately. Is that all right?
No. See, that is the part of. See, one thing which I want to. I have already discussed with Ashwani ji. He will discuss with Lian and Nidhi. There are certain things, I don't want to discuss here. He will discuss with you, and that is part of that. That is part of that.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you. For
And he's part of the team. He is a very honorable member as far as Rotary is concerned, and he's one who is associated with the Sanjeevani Riverside from the very beginning. In fact, he has brought those students for Ashwani's talk, and we had seen their feedback, and the feedback has been 99.6%. I tell you. And these all five out of that, I think more than 95% 5-star. Ashwani, I don't know whether I have shared with you. I think I shared with you the outcome of your talk feedback. So thank you very much. I will request our President-elect Rakesh ji to extend vote of thanks before we conclude. And if anybody want to say something before formal vote of thanks, please go ahead. Otherwise, I will request Rakesh ji to go for formal vote of thanks. And
So I want to put up one thing. If I have understood correctly, so we are concentrating towards, say, identifying the volunteers for PET. That is our first
no, not at all.
And not to create the awareness.
No. See, we are part A, part B. Part A is we are there for intensive program for all the 3 schools, and we have already discussed today. Part B, we are going for the awareness program for 10th standard and Calcutta. So this is part B, and this is on the platform of Sanjeevani Riverside. Yeah.
No, here I have got a question that if we are targeting a particular, say, class, so maybe that all are not coming forward for volunteering. So why we are, say, emphasizing that the whole of the class will be made the educator?
No, it's not.
Whole class will not be made the educators.
Yes, they will not be. And it is, you see, initial stage when we are going, we cannot discriminate. We will invite all the parents and all the students of that particular section. Whosoever are coming, they are welcome. Whosoever are not coming, they are at their own sweet will. And out of that, we will go separately for, first we are going for the parents, then we are going for the students separately, and so on. Concept has already been shared, and I think it is crystal clear. I think there should not be doubt in anybody's minds now. And I'm really very thankful to Lian, Nidhi, and Ashwani bhai for their I must say threadbare clarification. There is no doubt in anybody's minds now, and that was the objective of the inviting session today. So thank you very much to all of you. Now I would like to invite Lieutenant Rakesh Riland for closing remarks and extending formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Colonel Sir. In fact, this is the need of the hour. In fact, the way now we are going forward in this pandemic also, as well as the anxieties that are being created, I feel this is a project which will help a lot to so many people. I'm very sure that Lian and Nidhi, they are going to do a wonderful job over here. And we all are there to support So thank you, Lian and Nidhi, for bringing this to Rotary Club of Riverside. And Umesh ji, Ashwini, Bhagu, and Sanjay ji, and everyone present over here. Thanks a lot for joining and giving your valuable suggestions. In fact, Captain Ashwini Bhagu, in fact, I will like to meet you downstairs. You are in Gangaset only, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes,
I am
you are neighbors. You are
presently,
neighbors.
Rakesh ji, presently I'm
So-
in Bombay,
so-
but I will meet you.
He's also in Bombay. Rakesh is in Bombay.
Once you are there, then we can discuss in person here, and then we can have it a more elaborate discussion on this. So thank you so much, everybody, for sparing your valuable time. In fact, it was a little lengthy discussion, but then ultimately it has clarified a lot of things. So thanks a lot to everyone, and especially to Colonel Mishra for taking this project. And next year also, you are going to be the one who's going to drive it, Colonel sir.
I know you are not going to leave.
So, in fact, we have a small team in Pune Riverside, and everybody is so excited, and well bond, a very strong bond is there amongst all the members. So I'm very sure that everybody will contribute. And Kiran, thanks a lot for giving such wonderful ideas, and in fact, sharing your experience as a parent, and raising the concern that how the child is going to behave. So you are going to give a practical aspect of this. So thank you, Kiran. In fact, Kiran is the one who is really concerned about children as a mom, and then she looks at all the children in the same way, and whatsoever help she can provide, she's always coming forward. So thanks, Kiran. So thank you, everybody. If I missed everybody, Mr. Mursa, you are also means thanks to you for coming forward and giving the support. So thank you, everybody, for spending your time. Yeah, Colonel sir.
Thank you very much, and requesting everyone to please contribute on the group, whatsoever you have in your mind, and once again requesting the team connecting, trust to adhere the time. See, we are when we have to go for certain things in time-bound manner. Planning, we have to be very meticulous, and we have to be in time. And I'm very sure the way I have more interaction with the Nidhi, and I got her a wonderful person, very proactive, and most of the members may be knowing I was sharing something adding in our contact, and Nidhi has already done that, and that has shared with me. I will be sharing on the group. So we have wonderful team, and we have wonderful person like Group Captain Ashwini Kumar Bhaku, who is the bridge between the connecting trust and the Riverside. Lian and Nidhi, you must be knowing now. He is our esteemed member of Rotary Club Pune Riverside. He has taken membership. Are you knowing? Are you aware? So he's part of us, and he's part of board of the your connecting trust. So that's in fact an asset. So with these words, please permit me to end the meeting. Stay healthy, safe, and blessed. Thank you very much. Have I permission to end the meeting?
Right, sir.
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.